What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to review Astros Playroom as well as the Dualsense controller. Kind of take this time. I've been covering the biggest games, right? Demon's Souls, Miles, Assassin's Creed, Kingdom Hearts, some of those on the main channel. And obviously, this channel has always kind of been more of a smaller-ish thing. I talk about news stories, do stuff like that. So I felt like, all right, well, let's, to review the PS5, I think it's been done probably like 500,000 times at this point. But I do want to talk about the controller, and I want to talk about Astros Playroom, a game that was a game, actually, remember, I talked about this game leading into it. I was excited. It was not necessarily like a don't sleep on this title. Everybody kind of knew what to expect with Astros Playroom, but let me tell you, the game's phenomenal. That's where I'm going to start this review. The game is phenomenal, and the DualSense controller is exactly as the people, people that said, like, this is the next-gen thing, this is game-changing, 100% correct. So let's talk about Astros Playroom first, get that out of the way. The game is just, it's fun. It's very simple. There's really nothing hard about it. You could probably platinum it. I would say, in fact, I think I saw Colin Moriarty. He tweeted out that he platinumed this game. The game was only out for like 1 day, so it must not take that long. Now, I probably will go for the platinum. From what I played in terms of the platforming, in terms of the, I guess, quote-unquote puzzle solving, not hard at all, but that's not the point, right? The point of Astros Playroom has always been, and it does it flawlessly, is to show off not just the PlayStation 5, but the DualSense. Now, there are hundreds, even in the first, 10 minutes of this game. Well, in the opening, you get to see like all the consoles. You actually get to walk into different things like the metal cooler, the liquid cooling that's going on in the PS5. You get to walk in that. So you obviously get to see like different components of the PlayStation. And then once you get into the levels, again, it's Easter egg galore. I saw The Last of Us, Days Gone, Monster Hunter, Uncharted, all within the first like 6 or 7 minutes. It is truly, and I've seen gameplay of like farther down the line, and obviously you can unlock different things like the PS Vita and all this different stuff. It is outstanding. I tweeted it. I tweeted this out, and I said like it just has me smiling the entire time I'm playing. And some games aren't meant to make you smile like every second, but I think a game that is just fun, is trying out different things with the DualSense, is showing you what it can do, is paying respects really to all of these very, very old PlayStation icons, very, very new PlayStation icons. It's special, and it just makes me smile, where it's like, oh my god. And like when you're jumping up like a tree, like tree leaves, they're like discs, right? Small things. Those are very small things, but they make a world of difference, because it's like, this is a free game. This is a game that comes pre-downloaded on your PS5. You can jump right in. Takes like 5 or 6 hours from what I hear in order to beat the entire thing, and it's literally 5 or 6 hours of just smiling, of being able to see what the DualSense controller can do, and being able to see literally how many Easter eggs or nods they can put into one single game. And the answer is like hundreds, if not thousands, right? So I could go on and praise it like for hours here, but overall, this is going to be a game I think people skip for whatever reason. I get the reason, right? You have Miles, maybe you're getting Demon's Souls, maybe you got Sackboy, maybe you got God. I can just list them out. Maybe you're going to play Assassin's Creed on it, whatever. There's a lot of games, and maybe you got Bug Snacks, right, the PS Plus game, and you just forget that Astros Playroom is there. And it's not the biggest named game of all time, right? Not everybody played the PS VR game, right, on PS4. Not everybody did that. Now, I had a VR. I don't even think I played that. So, but man, they did a phenomenal job. So, obviously, it's a free game, but it's a must-play. It's an absolute, even if you know very little about PlayStation, I think you're going to come out of it and just be, like, again, smiling, like, just happy about the whole situation. And, all right, to talk about the DualSense controller really quickly. Now, at the time I'm recording this, I have played Miles, and I have played this game, Astros Playroom, with the DualSense. So I don't have the greatest range of what it can do. I know it can do a lot of stuff. I've heard a lot of stuff with Demon's Souls. I've heard what it can do, even with like God of War and The Last of Us Part 2. PS4 games that are one is years old. The other one is obviously came out just a little while ago. But the DualSense controller has been something that I have just given the most praise in the world to ever since it was announced. I loved the look the very first time they showed it. Everything we heard about it just had me so excited. And I did an unboxing on Podcast Now when I got it. I think it was the Monday after Halloween. And it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. And It wasn't. It's actually scary good how different it is from even just looking at it and touching it when you don't have a console to play it with. And then when you actually are using it with the console, it feels amazing. The D-pad feels better. The L1, R1 feels different. It's now, I forgot about this. It's like more rounded, which I believe they did talk about, but I forgot that was a thing. And I didn't even notice it when I did the unboxing. I obviously focused on the triggers, which are much, much different. I'll talk about that in a second. But the L1, R1, it's more round. It's more, it's not like a straight, straight across like rectangle, let's say, that maybe like the DualShock is. And you notice that actually kind of right away. Different kind of feeling, but again, I like it. But even the smaller things, like just using the D-pad or the options button or whatever they call it, or the share button, those feel so good. The touchpad feels relatively the same. Pressing the PlayStation, the button to kind of do everything on the console is incredible. But my God, what it does with the haptic feedback is incredible. There's no other way of saying it. You could say it's just vibrations because it is a lot of vibrations, but the potential of this controller. This is what the controller can do on day one, right? Astros Playroom has taken advantage of it. Demon Souls has taken advantage of it. Miles has taken advantage of it. Wait until we get games now, my fear has always been, I've said this for probably 6 months now, my fear is that developers leave it behind and don't care about it and say, well, that's cool, but we're going to use it like we use the touchpad where it'll just be the map button. You know what I mean? Where they won't really sink a lot of resources in. I think that'll probably happen, and that honestly pains me to say that. I think that obviously first party, so exclusive games to PlayStation 5, will use it quite heavily, and I hope every game uses it at least a little. Truly, I think Resident Evil Village has been confirmed that it'll use it. I know there's some other, I think Hitman use it? So there's other games, there's third-party games that will use the features. Every game needs to jump aboard this. And really, by the way, to give more credit to Astros Playroom, Miles is incredible, and you hear all these different sounds coming out of the controller, more sounds than we ever heard from the DualShock. And when you click the button, it actually makes it so you don't even have to pull the triggers back all the way when you're swinging webs, which is actually incredible. You can feel it when the Venom punch is happening. All the stuff they said, you can actually feel it. And I said this before, it's like the PSVR. It's very hard to describe how good this is unless you have it. I think it's the same thing as not even just PSVR, but VR in general when it started to make its rounds. Even, I guess, when PSVR came out like 2-3 years ago, I got it. I got it month one. And everybody had said, like, this is something that's very hard to capture and tell other people how good or how, like, revolutionary it is until they play it. And so everybody that would come over to my house, I would put the VR on them and say, look at what this thing can do. Look at it. And yeah, it's not the greatest thing of all time, but it's very good. And I can't wait to see, by the way, what they do with a PSVR 2. So you look at this, the DualSense, I think it's the exact same thing. Maybe a little lesser because it's not virtual reality, right? But this is something where it's like you don't actually, I feel like, have a grasp of how good it feels. Everything. It feels better. It's definitely a bigger controller, right? It mimics a lot of the same ways the Xbox controller, but I think, oh my God, it is miles better than that because everything the Xbox controller has been praised for doing, this does, and then this does like 1,000 things more. And so, again, to give praise to Astros Playroom, I mean, it uses the DualSense. It actually provides like tension where you have to really push the triggers in order to do something. You can feel yourself walking through water. You can feel the tap of your feet when you're walking. It is you can swing it, right? It's got motion sensors where it knows if you're swinging the controller. It's incredible. And again, I really hope, and in Miles, it's in the same way. And that's what's cool is they're in small details of the game that you don't always expect the controller to kind of take advantage of. And so I think it adds to the immersion. Like Astros Playroom would be entirely different, I think, if you didn't have the DualSense. Miles would be entirely different if you didn't have the DualSense because it just adds an entire extra layer to these games that you never would have had if you didn't have it. So I really, really hope that they keep going with this, that every single game, I mean, I want to see this implemented in every single game as much as possible. Truly, I know we won't always get that, but we really do. We need it, I would say. We absolutely need it because this thing is absolutely incredible. So I mean, this isn't like a you need to buy this thing or like let's give it a score. It's more like me praising it. Astros Playroom, do not skip this game, even though it's free. Play it. The DualSense controller, I mean, if you have a PS5, I assume you've used it, as of right now. But if you haven't yet, I don't know what you're doing. Just go touch it. Go to somebody's house and say, hey, can I touch your DualSense? That's it. Just do that for me, okay? So let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think? What do you think about the DualSense controller? What do you think about Astros Playroom? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And I do a brand new video on this channel every single day. And so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.